Welcome to Revival Radio TV. I'm your host, Dr. Gene Bailey. I'm so glad you're here. The last several weeks, we've heard some great insight from Pastor Billy Burke, and he's talked about his life. He's talked about leadership. Well, right now, we're going to go to the last of these segments where he talked about healings and miracles.
Come on, sir. Come on. All right. Send your power. Rise. Power. Power. He will touch you. The power. Oh, and make you whole. Make you whole. He will touch you. Come on, sir. That mighty power. Oh, come on, sir.
Let's talk a little bit about healing.
Yes, sir.
We talk a lot on this program about revival, and people didn't always go look for healings to happen. They searched for God to happen and salvation. But healings always came along. Why is healing such an important part of revival?
It was the first persecution on the early church. On Pentecost, Peter preached, 4,000 were saved, not a word was said. Not a word was said. Sanhedrin didn't arrest anybody. There was no disturbances. There was that group of people down there getting excited. One man gets healed at the gate. One miracle, one notable miracle, all hell breaks loose. So the devil attacks anything that can be seen in the natural.
Ah, that's good.
Because he knows that's where people live. People can see prosperity. Prosperity giving credit to God, that's worth attacking. People that get healed and give their credit to God, that's worth attacking. Anything that's tangible is where the high end of warfare is. Because, I mean, if you say you're born again, okay, great. That's neat. Okay, it's just, you can't prove that. Unless over time, maybe 10 years or 5 years, I see that you don't do what you used to do.
Right.
But if you limped, if you were blind, if you were deaf, if you had cancer, if you had headaches, if you had cataracts, and now you don't, and you tell me God did it, or money, anything that can be connected to the natural manifestation, that's where hell breaks loose. So healing and miracles today, God knows to reach our spirit. And there's one road to heaven, many roads to the heart. And he knows to reach the heart. Healing was never meant to be an end in itself. It was always a doorway to the soul. Always. Always. Jesus healed the man at Bethesda, later went looking for him.
Right.
Downtown Jerusalem, say, hey, how's the legs doing? Man, I'm so happy. Hey, you believe in the Messiah. The blind man in John 9, after he's healed, ostracized from the church. Jesus goes looking for him. Hey, heard they kicked you out of church, out of the synagogue. Yeah, I tell you what. He said, hey, do you believe on the Son of God? Well, who is this? Me. Yeah, I believe. So it's amazing. This seems to be the whole pattern of healing. It was never meant to be healing to be healed. It was healed to get to your soul. Healing as a doorway to the soul. Now, if you're already a Christian, that changes the dynamic a little bit because now it's part of the package of Calvary.
Right.
And the benefit of the stripes and the covenant of Isaiah 53. But healing today, because of our world and the spread of disease, the fastest spread of disease today is the airstream. Airborne diseases, massive transit, handling of money.
Right.
Money is the dirtiest thing on the planet. The food, the water. So you have so many things today that are spreading disease at an alarming rate. And more people today are sick or sickly or weak, And so to grasp their attention, God emphasizes healing because he's after their soul. And a lot of people just don't want to get saved, but they want to get healed. God's looking for them, they're looking for a healing. So how do those two marry? God says, I'll heal you and hope that I can bring you from the healing into the deeper place. And that's what we see a lot of people saved, because they get touched. When you get touched, your heart gets open. You're more receptive. So healing is needed for a lot of different reasons. Number one, people want to be well. But number two, it's one of the most massive forms of power evangelism. I think it was John Wimber that wrote that book years ago on power evangelism. Classic book.
Right.
Get somebody healed and they're open.
It's true.
You know, they're way more up because, wow, you know, my God couldn't do that, you know. Or I'm an atheist, and we've had a couple atheists recently come to meetings. Amazing. And how they got converted because their wife got healed right in front of them, up in Toronto. And she had, they couldn't find the disease in her face. She had ears and face and her hearing, a sound, a noise, and they did CAT scans and x-rays. And she came up, she said, they can't find anything. And I said, well, then I know what that is. And she said, what? I said, it's a spirit. And I said, we'll get it out, and you'll hear it any moment, and you'll be fine. I said, where's your husband? Well, he stood up way back, and the place was packed. And he stood up, and he said, I'm not coming up there because I'll embarrass all of you. I said, why would you? I yelled back, why would you embarrass us? He said, because I'm an atheist. And I said, well, you wouldn't embarrass me if you're an atheist. I don't know if that's what you want to be, but come on up here and watch your wife get healed. He said, no, I'll embarrass you. I said, get up here. If you're an atheist, come on, get up here. I don't care if you're an atheist. So he came up and he stood right next to her. Well, power of God hits his wife. She said, oh my God, that's gone. I can hear, there's no, all that. And he said, you know what? He said, I think I'm changing my mind. And I said, well, that's a pretty good thing. And he kept his Lord, you know, right there on the spot. So I think in this case, you look and you say, wow, healing there is used to get to the heart, to break the hard shell of an atheist. His healing was used in my case, you know, to mark my life. You know, healing. So I think the purpose for healing varies. To touch a family, to touch a church, to touch a denomination, you know, to touch people in the White House, to touch people in a pro football team.
Right.
So I think the ripple effect, God knows how to get inside of people's circles and their spheres of influences. You know, all it takes is one person that has a story, and we're all connected somewhere. And pretty soon, that's how he spreads out that gospel message. But, you know, again, back to leadership. It's the leadership that has to say, you know what, that's in the Calvary covenant. It's relevant. It's yesterday, today, and forever. I've got to make sure that's on my menu 52 Sundays in a year, special meetings. Excuse me, I've got to determine how important people's health is. Do I let them go just by way of natural diet and homeopathic and vitamins? Or do I believe this book? See, you have a lot of people that they don't know it. They struggle to believe that book.
Right.
And that's a scary thing, but that's just the truth of it. And I can't say that I'd be any different. My background keeps me from that.
Right.
My feet was ordered to be at that, you know, I didn't ask to meet Catherine. I didn't ask to have cancer.
Yeah.
So my case was a case of some kind of sovereign election. That's the only thing I can think of, but I run into so many pastors. Oh my. Years ago I had a meeting in New Jersey, 1,000 people, and a couple of the elders came up, and they went through some form of healing, deliverance, you know. And after the meeting, the pastor took me back in his office, and he threw his Bible, took his Bible, and he threw it on his desk. You know, he goes like that. He said, show me where my elders can have a spirit. Show me. How dare you say that to my elders out there? I said, are they free? He said, yeah, they're free, but was those spirits on them or in them? I said, Pastor, I don't know, on or in. He said, I said, go ask them. I said, they're the ones that got set free.
Right.
I said, I can show you some stuff if you're open to it. I can show you some stuff in the New Covenant where people opened up. Ananias and Sapphira opened up to stuff. Satan filled Judas's heart. He opened up to something. Jesus said to John, you don't know what kind of spirit's passing through you right now. He wanted to call down fire and kill people. I said, I can show you some passages, but you're not open to hearing me. You know, and so it just seems like, again, leadership, you know, and you got to love your people enough to get out of the way. That's the key to you got to love your people
enough to get out of the way. Explain that. Get out of the way of what God's doing.
To get out of the way of what God wants to do. Get out of the way of you feeling intimidated by somebody you're bringing in. Get out of the way of you know, more leaders block the flow than help the flow. Again, why I appreciate right here, Eagle Mountain Church. I just, every time I come here, I just think there's a place like this really exists. No, I mean that. It's just the freedom.
Right.
And these people are giants in their own right. They're amazing leaders. And yet they stand back and let you have freedom to touch people, their people, and under their care.
Right.
And there's no sense of anything other than, great job, they needed that, way to go. You know, and no, when you leave, them trying to take out what you just did. Well, what Billy Burke meant was, what he really said was, they just say, hey, let's keep going and add to it. It's just an amazing place, this place. I find it to be, I'm not sure how that all happened here. I'm sure there was a lot of prayer and all that somewhere back there. I'm just saying to you, in my 35 years of this, this to me is, it smells like homemade bread every time I come.
Oh, well, it's wonderful when you come.
You know,
We
it
so
just smells
enjoy
like
that.
homemade bread because
Lord
it's,
bless.
and it's helped me really, you know, honor people at a higher level, you know, because we're all flawed in some way.
Right.
Personality-wise, whatever-wise, you know, and yet that, what did Paul say? We have this treasure in this earthen vessel, that the excellency of the power may be of him and not ourselves. That verse, I live that verse. I really, Mary, I kiss that verse every morning. I have this treasure in this earthen vessel, that the excellency of the power may be of him and not me. Something happens when I say that. Something happens when every day, I say I have this treasure. There's something about God wanting you to know it's not you, without you having to make a big deal about it. It's not me, it's the Lord, it's not me. Sometimes the more somebody says that, the more they think it is them.
Right.
You know, but every day I try to say, you know what, thank you for this treasure. Help me spend this treasure right. And it goes back to then, where were you schooled? What tree did you fall from? Who mentored you? So much of that today. Who was your spiritual dad? You know, and you can have. I think you can have several dads. I don't think you have to have one spiritual dad. I think you can have several.
Sure.
And I know my exposure to the Copelands has been so amazing. Their in-your-face attitude towards this written word, I can't tell you the value that's put on me, on my life.
I agree.
I grew up with the flow, and I grew up in the Catherine Coleman, the flow, and the Copelands brought in the riverbed that the water flows in.
That's right.
Amazing. It's just an amazing journey, and you know, again, leadership. Why am I doing this? If I'm doing this for me, somewhere down the road, this don't work. Somewhere down the road, it's not worth it. Somewhere down the road, I'm too tired to do it, not enough money.
You'll run out of gas.
You're out of it. Somewhere you're gonna sleep with people, you're gonna do wrong things. Somewhere down the road, if you're doing it for you, and you find out the novelty of all this wears off pretty quick. You find out the people that you help sometimes the most don't like you. You find out the people that you help the most say bad things about you. And you find out so many things. You think, dear Lord, the viciousness of human nature.
Right.
You know, and sometimes leaders say one thing to you or your face, and so you find out quickly if you're going to stay in this, you know, in any form of ministry.
Yeah.
In any form of ministry. And then you find that if you're doing it for Him, see, that all comes back. If I'm doing it for you, think, wow. Then you have the choice of saying, okay, I forgive all them, or you can say, I identify with the sufferings of Christ. See, that's what it means to fellowship with His sufferings in Philippians 3:10. Paul said that I may know Him and the fellowship of His suffering. So Paul wasn't saying I have to go to the cross. Paul was saying I've learned to use all of the rejection that I received to identify with the rejection that He received. So that's how you get to know the Lord more. He went through this. The way I get to know my Father more is by the way I handle my children, how He handled me. So it's amazing, this fellowship with His suffering. We never talk about that as being a substantial part of deep growth. But the more I see how human nature is. They fell asleep with him 3 times in the garden. 3 times they fell asleep. And finally he just said, sleep on. So how do I get mad at people that don't pray for me? What do I say? Well, blah, blah. Or do I say, well, that's what Jesus felt?
Right.
And the moment I say that's what Jesus felt, something in me grows. Something from there to me is entrusted more. There's a level of compassion that hits, that makes me love people more. That needs to be taught. That is such a, because we get to know him how? Through the Word. We get to know him how? Through prayer. But we never talk about converting our suffering to identify with him. There's a major, major micro growth there, miracle growth there. Yeah. That's where compassion comes from, in my humble opinion. It's not just from seeing people suffer.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the stuff that Pastor George has shared on the program about compassion.
He's amazing with all that.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's got an inside track on that.
Right.
But
tell us, I have to ask you this question because everybody wants to know. You know, you've had this many years in healing ministry. What healings stand out to you?
Oh my. I just shared one the other day here. I mean, that one that I can think of the girl that had no stomach. The stomach grew back. I can think of.
Wait, she had no stomach.
Her name is Angie Cheek, and she had no stomach. It was removed. They connected her esophagus to her intestines. She lived on iced tea and pickle for 2 years.
Wow.
They say it was the vinegar and the pickles that sustained her life. And she couldn't eat. So she was in chronic organ failure. They brought her to a meeting. I was at Carpenter's Home Church in Lakeland. And power hit her. She got up off the ground 45 minutes later. She worked for the Bushes, worked for George and Laura Bush at the White House. And she went out to test her stomach, her new stomach at McDonald's. She ate all this food. Nothing happened. So then she came to a couple of my meetings up in Louisville and some places, and she wanted to testify. I said, Angie, I can't let you do that. This kind of a testimony, I need papers.
Yeah.
I need a doctor. I said, I get up there and you don't have this is not real, I'm in trouble. So she got me all the papers, went back to the doctor, and he told her, I can tell you what you're eating. Where'd you get this stomach? You know, she told him. He said, my God. But that was a creative miracle. But I've seen so many, Gene. I mean, I don't know what to list. I mean, I've seen people born blind, people with no appendages, born without the ear, be able to hear. There's no healing that's small. I mean, if you're in pain, I've seen hair change color, eyes change color, teeth straighten, cancers removed. I've held growths in my hand that disappeared.
Wow.
But this lady in Miami just recently who had leukemia, when I hear this, I still like, and she left the meeting after being under the power, and blood came out of her cavities, and all the blood that was on the floor, all the blood that was on her clothes, was contaminated leukemia blood.
So they tested all that. They tested that and found leukemia was evident.
Evident.
Wow.
But inside of her, no leukemia. And
that's she had a transfusion.
And that's when God spoke to me. My power drives stuff out. Wow. Tell people my power drives stuff out.
Praise God.
And I thought, God, how come then we don't see that? He said, because my people don't have the expectancy of that. They're after a warm, fuzzy touch. They're not after. So
is that why you think we see such great miracles when we go overseas?
Well, I don't know. I think overseas, I think they have less distractions. I think America's a land of great distraction.
Well, that's for sure.
I think we want healed between the next movie. We want healed while we're getting a latte and going to the mall.
Yeah. Wait a minute, I got a text. Yeah.
Yeah. I think our distractions here they're growing.
Right.
You know, and I think the other parts of the world. Every time I go to another part of the world, it's just, to me, it's like simple.
Yeah.
Compared to here. It's everything so simple. Almost hard simple.
Right.
And you think, I don't want to be back into hard. I like fast-moving technology, this way. But I think that we in America have, we've become a land of great distraction for the Christian, especially if you move into the warmer climates. Yeah. You're California, you're Florida, in Texas in some cases, excuse me, where you have a lot of, you have that culture.
Mm-hmm.
You're fighting stuff to do. You have activities. Now you're competing with activities of culture just to keep people back in church. Right. So I think that's one of the big reasons. And I think, again, leadership. Let's not get away from that.
No.
Again, leadership that says, seek and you'll find. Knock, ask and you'll receive. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. Unless you have a leader living that life, perpetrating that. It comes back to why people go to church. They need taught. They need an example. They need someone that is a seeker, someone that is desperate for God, someone that has paid the price.
Right.
So if that's not there, they either water up or water down. As long as my pastor accepts me. So leaders, to me, I think that's what's the Bible say in Isaiah? The whole head is sick.
Yeah.
So therefore the body is sick. And I think he came to prophesy. He said the head's sick, so everything else is sick. I think as the spiritual leadership goes, that's why there's such an attack on leaders. But I think if there's a leader, I'm not saying perfect, I'm not saying sinless, but I'm saying someone that is, that has resigned that to do this, I've got to give something up.
Right.
If this costs me nothing, then what's leadership for the Lord? And that don't mean you live a poor life or you don't have any fun. It just means that, you recognize the seriousness of your responsibility. You're called to get these people from point A to point B, to teach them, show an example to them, to nurture them, to fulfill, your obligation to them. And I just find I've not been the greatest leader. I'm becoming a better leader, but it's hard.
Right.
It's hard, we have so many people today that don't have a father in their home. We have people that without any form of structure, they arrive at the church and they're used to being on their own. So they come independent. And so for them to submit and yield and listen and learn, so you got to continue to send out that voice in the wilderness and trust that he's going to, but that don't mean you stop paying the price. And people say to me, I don't know how you do what you do. You travel how many 1 million miles a year? You travel a lot a year. What do you mean? He healed me. He saved me. I'm not going to hell, I'm going to heaven. I get to see miracles. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Don't feel sorry for me.
Right.
Yeah. You have a hardship. I have to ride a plane, not a camel.
Right.
Give me a break. And then they go, oh yeah, well yeah. But see, in their mind is, that's not in their mind.
Well, we're so happy that you are doing the ministry you're doing,
Grace,
Pastor Billy.
like Brother Copeland said to me last night, G-R-A-C-E. Yeah.
Yeah, we all need the grace.
By the grace.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Gene, thank you. I love your show, by the way.
Good.
You're doing an amazing job. How long?
12.
What do you have?
My back.
What's wrong with it?
The scars.
Scars?
Yes.
They hurt?
Yes.
They're hurting now?
Yes.
You got to give me a hug. Come on, you got to hug me if you want to get rid of this. Come on. No, hug me. Not with your head. You got to hug me. Come on. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you. Hug me. Is your back still hurt?
Yes.
Is it still hurting?
Yes.
It's going to leave any moment. Is it leaving?
No.
Leaving now.
Yes.
Almost gone.
Yes.
Here it goes.
Jesus! Somebody give God a shout!
Pick him up, pick him up, pick him up. Gone. No pain.
No.
No pain.
Thank you.
Where do you go to church? Where do you go to church?
Here.
Who's the greatest pastor on the planet?
Dr. George. Dr. George.
You get to stay another week. Oh, there you go. You can come another week at least.
It's gone. Completely gone.
I was dreaming about you today.
Yes.
Well, let me finish with her, okay? I'll be right with you.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. Thank you very much. What happened to you?
I'm fine now.
You're fine now.
Yes.
Well, let the people see him. What happened? What happened to you? What exactly happened? You know?
My feet,
Your feet got healed.
my leg,
Your leg got healed.
and my back.
And your back.
And my brain.
What?
My brain.
Your brain.
Yes.
I don't remember praying for your brain. It got healed too.
Yes. 4 years.
So you feel different.
Yes.
Like when you walk, there's no pain. And
I walk you right now.
what's that?
I walk you right now.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you.
This is your home church, right?
Yes.
And Pastor George and Terry are your pastors, right? What's that?
TV.
Oh, so you haven't been here in person? This is your first time in person.
No.
Where do you live?
I am
Where? Tennessee.
How about Tennessee?
So you watch EMIC by TV.
And I watch yours. Hey, Dr. George.
Don't get me in trouble. You're going to watch Eagle Mountain.
No, not.
Yes, get him back to his seat quickly. Come on, give God a praise for this guy. It's amazing. But you know what? Hey, come here. You know what I like about this? We did pray for the legs and the arms and the back. Never mentioned the brain. Notice how that was added in there. God always does more.